In 1995, Peter bought a two-bedroom property, $142,000. He rented it out immediately. His tenant paid $950 per month. His mortgage was $890 per month. The tenant covered the mortgage, plus $60 per month. Peter contributed almost nothing after the deposit. Today, that property is worth $680,000. Peter's tenant from 1995 is still renting somewhere else with no property and no equity after 30 years of paying rent. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how this happened, the mechanics behind landlord wealth accumulation, what renters paid and what they built, and what the data shows about where residential property wealth has concentrated over 3 decades. No blame, just numbers. Stay with me. Before I show you the mechanics, I need to explain one concept that makes landlord wealth accumulation so mathematically powerful. Peter put down $28,400 in 1995, 20% of $142,000. That $28,400 controlled a $142,000 asset. That asset appreciated over 30 years to $680,000. Peter's $28,400 as deposit generated $538,000 in capital gain, plus 30 years of rental income. That serviced his mortgage and eventually became pure profit after the mortgage was paid off. This is leverage applied to an appreciating asset over a long time horizon, the most powerful wealth building mechanism available to ordinary people in most English-speaking countries over the past 3 decades. Here's the twist. Peter's tenant also contributed to Peter's wealth. Directly, every rent payment serviced Peter's mortgage, built Peter's equity, and freed Peter's own income for other uses. The tenant paid, Peter built. This is not a moral statement. It is a mechanical description of how leveraged property investment works when rental income covers or exceeds mortgage costs. Now, the numbers at scale. Research across English-speaking countries shows consistent patterns over the past 3 decades. Homeowners have seen median net worth grow substantially faster than renters. In most markets, the gap between median homeowner net worth and median renter net worth has widened significantly since 1990, not primarily because homeowners earned more, but because home prices rose and renters didn't benefit from that rise. The wealth gap between owners and renters is one of the primary drivers of overall wealth inequality in most English-speaking countries. Here's the data on who holds residential property. In 1990, in most English-speaking countries, investor-owned residential property represented approximately 15% to 20% of the housing stock. Today, that figure is closer to 25% to 35%. In some markets higher. More of the available housing is owned by investors and rented to people who would prefer to own, but cannot access ownership. Here's the most important twist. This is not a simple story about good landlords and bad renters, or bad landlords and good renters. It is a story about how a structural shift in housing markets created very different financial outcomes for people who owned property and people who didn't over the same 3-decade period. Understanding the mechanics is different from assigning blame. What this means for people entering the market today. The leverage mechanism that built Peter's wealth still exists for people who can access ownership. The challenge is that the entry point is dramatically higher than it was in 1995, requiring a larger deposit and generating a higher monthly cost than the same purchase did a generation ago. The wealth building mechanism is unchanged. The accessibility has narrowed significantly. For renters who cannot access ownership, The data suggests that alternative wealth building, through consistent investment in diversified assets, can partially replicate the compounding effect, though without the leverage. That makes property so powerful. Here's the most important twist. Peter's wealth was not primarily the result of superior financial skill. It was the result of buying an asset that appreciated dramatically, at a time when it was accessible, at a price that made leverage work. The same purchase today, at today's prices and rates, does not carry the same mathematical certainty that Peter's 1995 purchase did. Understanding that is the most important context for any housing decision made in 2026. Peter's tenant paid rent for 30 years. Peter built $538,000 in equity. Both were operating rationally within a system that produced very different outcomes for each of them. This video just opened a window for you. You've seen the mechanics, the data at scale, and what it means for decisions made today. What you do with that window is completely yours, because everyone's situation is different. One question before you go. Has the landlord-renter dynamic affected your financial life directly? Drop it in the comments. That completes the Housing Trap series. 10 videos on housing affordability, with honest numbers and no spin. Next week, a brand new series begins. Money psychology. Why you spend more than you plan. Why raises never feel like enough. And why the financial decisions that hurt us most feel completely rational when we make them. Subscribe, hit the bell. See you next week. Educational content only, not financial, legal, or real estate advice. Always consult a qualified professional in your area.